Hey, what's up guys, welcome back to the channel. I decided to do this mainly because my fiance, I have a few things that I keep in her car, some things that I make sure that she's has her essential items that she's safe with. You know, I'll link all my products here in the description and you guys can go from there. And if you're new to the channel, it's Edward M. Cars. My name's Eddie. I do everything cars, car reviews, vlogs. This is my BMW X5 in the background. I have a review on that as well. Also have a Honda Civic Si and a BMW M3. So we'll get started. So let's start with your hand sanitizer. Always keep one of those in your car. You never know when you will need one, as far as, you know, if you're getting fuel and there's oil or grease on there and you need to get that off. Hand sanitizer works wonders for this. So I always keep hand sanitizer in the car. All right, next item. Well, you never know. For me, my hands are dry. I like to make sure that I keep my hands moisturized, but also too, I don't like having my controls in my car greasy, and also too that these oils and stuff can essentially strip out the coatings of the buttons over time. Of long-term use, you might find, like, you know, your volume button may start to turn white, all the black coatings coming off. So before I get out of the car, I always put lotion on my fans. This just keeps everything kind of, make sure my hands don't look ashy and stuff like that, but you have it there. Next thing is, it's a cell phone. All right, so I think it's important to have a cell phone in your car at all times. That goes without saying, you know, so you need to call for help. You know, you have, that's your way to call for help. But also you need a way to keep the phone charged. So here's your way to keep the phone charged, is a charging cord. This is a USB connector to a Lightning, so obviously it goes towards an iPhone. You can get different ones. If you have an Android, you might need a micro USB or something like that. Most cars have a USB connector. If your car does not, you can always have the 12-volt or circuit lighter. Use one of these, plug in, has a USB port back here. You can plug it in. Even if you do have a USB connector, I recommend one of these anyway, because this is how you can actually rapid charge your phone. USB cables by themselves typically cannot do a fast charge. Usually it's kind of a slower charge unless your car is specifically rated for USB fast, rapid charge. All right, next thing is an ink pen. Okay, always have an ink pen. You know, never know in a situation where you may need to write something down. You may be stranded and you need to write an address down or a phone number down, and you know, if you have a pen in your car with you, well, what do? You are stranded. Okay. Next thing, owner's manual. Keep it in the glove box. You know, never know if there's something where you could be stuck with no cell phone service and now you are stranded. Okay, if there's something where just the car is malfunctioning, maybe you can read the owner's manual. Maybe something that you can find out. Some cars have it built into the car's infotainment system too, so you can also access information from there. And it's a good place too. Some owner's manuals have a place for you to keep your pen. You know, some people keep jumper cables in their car. Well, you know how that goes. You connect jumper cables, you know, a lot of times you got to think about it, and a lot of times you don't know. You got to do it the right way. Obviously, the positive, the dead first, the good car, then the black to, you know, it goes back. You know, if you think about it, it could be confusing, especially in a situation where you are in the kind of like, you know, my car won't start and I need to jump my car, and you know, if someone doesn't, you have the cables, but you know, maybe there's another coworker who also doesn't know how to do it, and you're trying to do it. If you don't do it the right way, you can electrocute yourself. All right. Also, you need a donor car, and they're like, okay, bye Amanda, see ya, and you're like, all right, thank you. You sit in your car, and then you turn around and try to start it. It's dead, and everybody drove away, and you worked all day long and your phone's dead. You know, you can't charge your phone because the car's dead. So I recommend keeping one of these. These are very handy, a lot less footprint than jumper cables, and I'm gonna show you how it works. All right, so this is why it's important to have this thing. Let's say, for example, this car, dead battery. All right. Take your device out. Pull it out. Then this is what I like about it. It has the wireless charger on top. So, you know, I hit the on button, turn it on. My phone's charging, just like that. No cord needed. It's going to automatically charge, which is really good. Right now it says 89% battery life. I should probably top this off because I did jumpstart 2 cars with this already. And you can see here that even with 2 cars, it still holds. Even with this X5, it will jumpstart it, being a powerful battery. It says it could go up to like a 6 or a 7.0 liter or whatever diesel engine, so it's quite powerful. You have a flashlight built in, and you have 2 USB ports. So even if you didn't have wireless charging capability in your phone, if you just have a cable in your car, which we discussed why you should have one, you can plug that in, charge your phone. Okay, let's say dead battery. You have this cable, and what you're going to need to do, you see you have red for positive, black for negative. You just come over to your battery, obviously lift out the covers. You will then connect here, here. That's all. Now it's telling me right now the battery right now is 12.4 volts, so that this is a good battery. But say if I wanted to jump start, all I would do is take my device, see here, plugs in one direction, and I would plug this in just like that. And from that point on, once it's plugged in, I go to the car, start it. No other vehicle needed. It will start just like that. All right, now some people are gonna be like, you know, Eddie, I looked at my hood and I don't have a battery there. You know, and I was told it's my trunk. How do I jump start it from my trunk? Well, you can, but also some cars have batteries under the seats, some batteries are hidden. If that's the case, there is still a way that the manufacturers thought that, you know, kept that in mind. So look under the hood. Every car varies, but there's always going to be a positive terminal underneath the hood. Okay, so you're going to see, for example, look on this car. There is no battery. The battery is located in the trunk. But you see that bright red device right there? This little cap. All it is just a positive terminal that will allow me to jump start. Okay, and you probably will say, well, that's good, but where would I put the negative, the ground? Well, you can put the positive here, obviously, connect it down, put the clamp right on here, and find a bare piece of metal on the car, preferably unpainted metal, and connect it there. So this could be a good one. If nothing else, you can always try to clamp it to something like this, to the body, something metal that would ground. Hopefully it helps out. So we're looking at here with the X5. There is a positive. So I see that red. There it is, right there. So all you do is flip that up. There you go. And then from there, connect your positive here. I would then probably put my ground right here on this little clamp, on this little metal piece, just like that, and it should start. Okay, good luck. Hopefully we never need it, but you should know this, you know, in case things like this happen. I have one in each car. I keep one in my fiance's car, so I know for sure if anything happens and she is stranded, even from far away, she can at least get her car started and get somewhere safe, or at least call for help at the very minimum. So this is a tire pressure gauge. Obviously, if you feel like you got a low tire, most cars now, I think every car after 2007, every car that's manufactured after 2007 has to have an onboard tire pressure monitoring system, which is great because now you know, at least if you have an 07 or newer car, if you have a flat tire, you're going to get a light. All right, I'm going to show you what the light means here in a minute, because if you get the light, like some people don't know what it is. Like, what does this light mean? So here it is. All right, so now that you've seen the light, you know what that means when you have a low pressure. Some cars would actually tell you which tire it is, such as the left front, right front, left rear, so on. But some cars just tell you low tire, and you're like, and it's up to you to figure out which tire is low, if it is low. So you check your own pressures. I'll show you how to do it. Okay, over here we have the valve stem and then the cap. Okay, losing this, all this cap does, it just keeps rocks from getting inside the valve stem. Right now, there are different makes and models of these pressures. Some are digital. This is the most basic one you can get. I decided to show this one because the other ones, if you learn this one, the digital ones are much easier to use. So all you're going to do, push this in all the way, and I'm going to put pressure, basically make this fit. Put pressure on this valve. Put hard. If air is coming out of it, it's not correct. So you push hard until you hear air and it stops right there. And I'm just over above 40 psi. All right, now that's just what I keep in my car. You can see the numbers here. It's psi. On the other side is bar. Make sure you look at the right direction. This is actually good. If you're saying, well, Eddie, how do I know if I have the correct pressure in my car? How do I know if it's 30, if that's okay? Every car is different. Every car is going to tell you what your pressure should be. It's always a little placard inside of the driver's side door. So open the driver's side door. Usually it's here, right there, and there you go. That is, front tire should be at 35. This is cold pressure, by the way. What does cold pressure mean? It means before you drive the car. First thing in the morning, that the car's been sitting for hours. You saw mine was a little bit at 45 to 40 because I drove this car. When you drive the car, tires heat up, they increase the air a little bit. So if you adjust the air pressure to, say, for example, say, oh, well, I'm too much in here, after you drive the car and you adjust it down to the cold pressure, well, guess what? When the tires get cold, it's going to be lower than what it should be. Okay, and like I said, this works same thing for digital. Digital ones are going to be a little the same. Also, too, if you need to take air out, you do the same thing on the reverse side. It's got this little thing here. Instead of putting it on this side with the cap, you press that in and it'll let the air out. Okay, next one, I think everyone should have some form of pepper spray. I know some people go for tasers. I know tasers are good too, but I just keep one in the car. Think about it like this: if you have an attacker, or you feel you're in danger and they're coming towards you, or you're kind of like you're back into a corner, would you want to move towards this attacker with a taser, get closer to him within his reach, or would you rather stand further away and spray him from a distance while keeping yourself protected, keeping at that barrier? That's why I feel like this is better, because you don't put yourself within arm's reach. Last thing you want is to get to something with a man that's twice your size. He overpowers you, takes your taser from you, and now what do you have? Versus where you can spray him in his face like an insect, and then hopefully he'll keep his distance. Right? So it's just some other things I carry. I know now a lot of stores are now require face coverings, so I keep a fashion mask in here. It's just a cloth mask I keep in, and chewing gum. All right. Sometimes I eat something and I'm gonna go somewhere, I always keep chewing gum. Just, it's kind of self-explanatory to make sure breath is smelling fresh. All right. Some tips I can tell you is when walking out towards your car, there are certain things you can kind of keep an eye on to make sure nobody's following you without being completely obvious. All right. Right now I'm walking, but I have a shadow. So if someone's coming behind me, there's a shadow right there. I'll know ahead of time that there's a shadow. Okay. Next thing is cars, other vehicles. If you're in a parking lot, there are other vehicles around. Cars are like mirrors. You can see, without looking directly back, if there's someone else behind me. I mean, there's somebody behind me, there's somebody sneaking up on me. So you'll know. So if I'm in the car for a parking lot, I'm in a parking lot, a bunch of cars, I'll just kind of keep an eye on my reflection and still know, make sure no one else is following me. So, simple as that. All right, that's just the extra bonus tip I threw in there. If you like it, be sure to give me a thumbs up and consider subscribing, because I might start doing a little bit more videos like this in the future, as far as I might start breaking down some car terms for simple, try to break it down, because some things are complicated. If you don't know about cars, it's hard to understand. Might start going through warning lights that you might want to know about, things like that. So also it's optional, but if you want, you can have sunglasses. Like I said, I used to keep sunglasses in every car, or at least have a pair to even move it around. If you have one car, it's good, but for me, driving in the sunlight, driving in the sun sets, and you get that bright sun, throw on a pair of shades. And optional too, this is going to apply for cars with run flats or don't have run flats anymore. All right, so the X5 came standard with run flat tires. With that being said, there isn't a spare tire in here at all. And when I travel, it does make me a little bit kind of like, no run flat, no spare tire. If I get a flat tire, then I'm kind of done, unless, and then my prayer is just hopefully the tire doesn't get destroyed. I can repair it. So what I keep in the car is a tire plug kit. All right, so in the event of a flat tire, I can plug the tire. If you don't know how to plug a tire, I recommend, I can do a video on that one as well if you want, but you should know what you're doing before you do it. If you do this the wrong way, incorrectly, it could lead to a blowout. Okay, I'm serious. If you do this wrong, it will lead to a blowout. So make sure you do it correctly. I've done it correctly. I've had it on brand new tires and had to have a nail in my brand new tire before, and I plugged it, and the plug never gave me any problems, no leaking air. It lasted, if I said when it's done right, it would last the life of the tire. Okay, and it doesn't matter, high speed. Like I said, I can do in the video on that too, but like I said, we can do, I just recommend keeping one in the car, because like I said, as a run flat, no spare tire, at least if I get a nail, I can repair it. This kit's really good. I've used the Slime brand before in the past. You could buy at AutoZone, but they come in like a pack of 4, and then it seems like by the time I need it, the cement is dry. This one is a well-built kit. You have your lubricant or your cement here in the container. You have a blade to cut. You have your scoring tool, and you have this tool here is really good for, you see we got some weight on the handle for applying the plug. Actually, both of these handles are weighted, which is really nice and helpful. If you're familiar with plugging the tire, you'll understand a lot of these things here, why you need those pliers, and of course you have valve stem caps and a couple other little accessories. So I keep that in the car. I keep this right here in this corner for the X5, along with the battery pack back here, and that obviously gets covered up or right there. Now, some people who have the third row seat, or I have third row seat, so that's why I don't have any storage underneath. So if you don't have a third row, then you can probably put that underneath the cover under here. With many cars coming with, dashboards, some even having leather dashboards, I think it's always, regardless of what material you have, I think it's always good to protect the interior car, keep the heat down. I personally use a custom windshield sunscreen, and I like it. It's foldable, and this is the Covercraft UVS 100, and you can order them different colors. You can get them customized. So I'll show you what mine looks like. This is what is an M3. Obviously, I'm gonna use it when I'm in the garage, but it's just good to see, just the demonstration purposes, what it looks like, outside. They come in different colors. I have blue for the M3. Lexi has rose gold, and then I have, at the time I just ordered gold for the X5. Really easy to take on and off. There's no suction cups, no straps. All I'm doing is just moving my sun visor up and down. I slide it out a little bit, and it just folds. So that was one-handed, me holding the camera in one hand. But this is what it looks like. I usually store it in the back somewhere. During the non-summer months where I don't get much heat, I usually just keep it in the trunk. So that's another item. Watching this video and you're wondering, well, I already know all this, or like I said, consider purchasing these things for your significant other to keep them safe, or sharing my tips to keep them safe. Okay. All right, guys. Thanks for watching. Subscribe.